This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Well, hello and welcome to Give Me a Oh Yeah. I hope everyone's there, right there in Yorkshire.
Matt Hardy. Thank you for watching the Gimme a Whole Yeah Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to the Wrestle Story. We discuss.
Welcome to the Wrestle Story, where we discuss all things wrestling. The legends
I've got Matt
of the
Hardy
past,
on my screen. That's what I see.
Well, who cares?
You're a bit lagged on that stream, but that's all good. Everyone can hear us.
We're live. This worked. Whoa!
How's the sound, everyone? Let us know if everything's good. We've been really struggling with this, so our sincerest of apologies.
Wow, I can't believe this actually
We are
worked.
here till the bitter end, until the Pete Dunne's finisher. That's funny.
Bless you all so much. We're actually streaming this from my computer, using that. It's bizarre. We've really struggled to get this working, but we are here. Thank you for waiting.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for waiting. We appreciate it.
It worked.
No echo.
Boom.
That is awesome.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was amazing. Hey, people, let's try that intro again.
I think.
What's up? Welcome to the Wrestle Story. Hello.
Well, because I started the intro and I had Matt Hardy on my screen and I was like, what? So I had Matt Hardy in my ears and I couldn't figure out what was going on.
We are not Gimme a Whole Yeah. We are the Wrestle Story, but we have Ant from Gimme a Whole Yeah here.
Hey up.
Yeah. We do not leave our fans
Wow.
hanging. We try to work it out, and as long as you will stick with us, we will be here.
Thank you so much.
Can't believe that worked.
Yeah, Dom's gone to what? You can't see Dom. Oh, can you hear Dom? I love the Fiend. I love the Fiend. He's amazing. You can't hear Dom. What?
Dom is. We stuffed Dom in the closet.
we turned into ashes.
Did it work? Yeah, we did. Hey guys, hello everybody. You people all deserve
Lollipops.
better than what you got tonight.
Yes.
Because good grief, audio, imagery, video, technology sucks. It was not on our side tonight. Hello everybody, Mrs. Gleen, Futuristic, James, Jared. Who else do we have in here? Scott.
Hey up, David.
Who else we got? Danny.
Jared.
John L.
Johnny Lee.
Eve. Johnny Lee.
Yes.
Everybody, what is up? Observing stuff. Hello, we are here.
We are here. We're going to talk about the pay-per-view tonight, the Royal Rumble. I am so glad that you guys stuck around. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. And by the way, we want to thank our friends from Gimme a Whole Yeah is helping us out through this and trying to figure out what was going on. And we finally got it to work.
Yes.
It's all good.
Thanks to Ant.
If I lose the internet during the stream again, we're all knackered.
Hello, David. How you
It's
doing?
over.
We appreciate it. Stone Cold David. We appreciate it.
Hey, man.
We would be on Twitch right now, but we are going through. We went around this a roundabout way. We are actually going through Ant's computer right now.
Yeah, because we were having major issues.
Because we were having some major issues with sound issues on our end.
Yeah.
So we are up. We are live. We are going to talk about some stuff here.
Woo!
Sweet.
Woo!
Okay.
So,
You
I
want to go ahead
suppose.
and,
What?
you want to go ahead and kick it off?
How do you want me to kick it off?
I don't know.
Because I
However
screwed
you
up
want
my
me-
intro
kick it
because
off.
I had Matt Hardy on my screen when I started my intro and I was like, what?
Delete.
Yeah, I was like, I'm lost.
Oh man. So, am I to take from what I can see that the problem was Dom?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Dom is exactly what did it. And so, no, to be like perfectly honest, it was some sound issues on our end, and I couldn't. Like,
Even with Dom gone, we couldn't sort it out. And Dom was knackered anyway, so we sent him to bed. But he put him in the closet under the stairs.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So no positivity on this podcast now. Just us.
There will be no positive things on this podcast now because Dom is gone.
It's not allowed.
Yeah.
You don't do that here.
Done. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started here. We'll start talking about the Rumble, what we thought about it. Tonight, first off, we had Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and Charlotte Flair on the pre-show. What did you think of this match?
I'm going to let Aunt take that question first because I'm putting the tweet out.
Oh, she's sending the tweet out right now.
Oh, I better retweet. I'll let you go first, Mr. G, because I'm going to retweet.
All right. Overall, I did not think it was a bad match. I don't necessarily like the ending. What?
Did we watch the same thing?
What?
Did we watch the same thing?
Mr. G wanted Charlotte and Asuka to retain.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, whatever. But
I felt that Charlotte and Asuka should have retained. Charlotte should have went on to win the Rumble, and then went on to face not Asuka, but who?
Sasha.
At WrestleMania. And then you would have had both champions as tag team champions also. And then they could have got into some feud and said, we're going to scrap the tag titles, and then just eliminate the tag titles completely because they're worthless.
Yeah, but here's Impact making a good go of the women's tag division with the new Knockouts belt.
Yeah, well, the thing is Impact, I think, probably utilizes their women a little better.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
And so, they're since they do that, they're capable of, having a women's tag team title.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look, the match was fine. It was okay. I'm not a fan of Charlotte and Asuka matches. I think Charlotte dominates too much when she gets beat up and then gets the hot tag to herself. I don't find the chemistry very appealing whatsoever. Nia needs to change her outfit, man. It's not. I'm not shaming her at all. I think she's beautiful, but the outfit's missing so much. Like, it could have more depth to it,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if this is helping Shayna that much. I feel like Shayna's the one that's been sort of left behind in all of this, and I don't think that's very fair for Shayna. And it's all to build Charlotte, and then we get the distraction with Ric Flair and Lacey, and it costs them the match. Don't get me wrong, I thought Lacey's women's right was bloody brilliant. I think she's fantastic at delivering that move, and I'm interested to see that feud, but at the same time, there was no story of Asuka and Charlotte losing the belts. Asuka wasn't even in she can't be in the Rumble, I suppose, because she's got the belt. Just feels like a missed opportunity in several sort of areas here. Like, big beats of storytelling that are completely missing.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was lackluster at best. I thought the whole ending was fine with like the Rick and Lacey spot. I thought that was fine. But you're absolutely right. The Asuka and Charlotte, the Charlotte-Asuka thing is just not working out. And I feel like Charlotte has looked worse in the last several weeks that they've been doing the tag thing with Asuka. Personally,
yeah,
if you've noticed, she has stopped selling for people. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what her deal is. But she's just kind of it kind of looks like she just doesn't care.
Mhm.
And maybe that's the case because it's the tag titles and she's like, this is worthless. But it doesn't necessarily seem like the Charlotte Flair attitude.
Isn't it bizarre that you can have a TV program that they're giving time to and giving these women time on TV, and actually none of them are profiting from it at all? In fact, it's taking them all backwards. It's really weird.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mr. G?
Well, I think that the big thing is with Charlotte. How much of it do you think she likes the storyline she's being put in?
Well, there was rumors that when she was coming back, she was only going to come back for once they'd got something written in place for her. And what was written in place for her there is her dad making love to a younger lady and a tag team title run with that. I just don't get it. I just don't get it at all. And I don't think it helps anyone. And I think that's a real shame, man. Why waste time on that?
Absolutely, because it's not only wasting Charlotte's time, it's wasting Asuka's time. It's wasting Ric Flair and Lacey's time if they're not going to do anything with it.
Mm.
So it's wasting Nia and Shayna's time. It's everybody involved. It's not helping anybody.
No. Well, I'm cool with the Charlotte and Lacey feud. If I don't know that I like the way that they went about doing it, but at least you're looking at a feud that's not necessarily going for a title with a big star.
Yeah, I look forward to that. But then at the same point, when WrestleMania comes around, they'll stick Charlotte in whatever title match. You know, Charlotte will suddenly be the defunct winner of the Rumble tonight because that's what they do with Charlotte when they just want to make it. It's just weird. And I think that's people's problem with Charlotte. It's not that she's not an incredible wrestler, because she is a talented as hell wrestler. It's really smooth in the ring, but they just keep pushing her, and in a Roman Reigns sense, in a Roman Reigns sort of 2 years ago sense, which is, I think, giving her go away heat at the minute.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I 100% agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, but again, I think that overall, I think you have to have I don't get a sense that she really wants to be there sometimes with what they've got her doing right now.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. Should get to a little bit of chat as well, because there's loads of people chatting, man. This is amazing. Thank you all so much.
Danny says, yeah, man, not even tired yet. Might power through until end of Raw tonight. Danny, you would have to power through to get through the end of Raw if you haven't slept yet.
I'll be right back.
That would be powering through Raw sometimes. Raw itself just kind of takes it out of people.
Absolutely.
Johnny Lee, I think it's just fitting for Shania that since Asuka and Charlotte have their separate feuds, Asuka is in the feud with Alexa, and Charlotte is in a feud with Lacey. I just think it would have been a better deal to have them keep the tag titles, because I think it's more relevant with them having it.
Yeah. So Happy Edge won. We're gonna get to that. The Charlotte Lacey feud could bring in ratings, but they aren't really booking it properly. I agree and disagree. I feel like it could bring in some people, but at the same time, you're absolutely right. They're not booking it as well as they could. And I think that a lot of people are just like, been there, done that. Like, why do the whole Flair and Lacey thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think the Flair Lacey thing kind of gives, again, I think it's one of those things where you have a superstar that's not necessarily being pushed to be in a title picture, which I think we get all the time. I think we get the superstar, which is part of the problem with WWE in general, is their so-called superstars are always in the title hunt. And I think it takes away from other stories that they could have.
Yeah.
And I feel that, that, even like with Asuka and the Alexa thing, I mean, I don't know that people see them as being superstars. So those two going against each other.
Well, how could you with the way that Asuka's been booked over the last several months, like, Asuka looks like absolute trash.
Yeah, and I mean, she's the Raw Women's Champion, and the tag titles mean more than that. It's weird.
Exactly. It just doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think they've used Asuka right, like, ever.
Well, but the thing is that they have used Asuka in a better way before, and now all of a sudden they're like, we don't know what to do with you.
Well, her NXT run was really good and strong, and people remember that fondly. And her main roster debut was good up to the point where she lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania. But it's this new character. It's just a bit goofy. And then when she's sort of having these weird matches with Alexa, that's just like not putting her over at all. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. I mean, I mean that's the big thing. We talked about. I talked about Abaddon and Sheeta in AEW doing like the whole culture thing with the like the ring thing and that type of thing.
And that's great. And they should have used that, but they never did. Yeah.
And I thought maybe when they started having Alexa, mess with Asuka the last couple weeks, that they could have done something similar in that situation where it was the supernatural, if that's where they were going to go. And do that with Asuka, and then she overcomes and defeats this super being down the road. I think that would have just been a different storyline because if they're not going to use Asuka in any other way, then I think this is probably, at least she's getting in the ring and doing singles competition, and it's not her just doing this tag team division and then showing up every now and then. At least she's getting out there and being put over some rather than sitting there doing nothing.
Well, that's essentially what she's done thus far, though. She just has the, Raw Women's title in name only.
And if Asuka and Alexa was a feud that's to continue, which we've seen no example of that being a thing, the problem is Asuka's not going to go over in that situation. It's got to be Alexa because she's this new character. So Alexa's got to go over, hasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would think, okay,
I would say so.
I would say here for a while, but I think over time, tie a story into it, like I said, tie it with the culture thing, and do it that way. Because then at least you have a story going, and Asuka is involved in something other than the tag team titles being the women's champion.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So Nia and Shayna are the new tag team champions.
I think that was the right move. Because the other thing that is, the other thing about it is that Charlotte and Asuka weren't losing the tag titles to anybody but Nia and Shayna.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, there's no one else, is there, at the minute?
No, I mean, you have Dana and Mandy, but I could beat both of them up at the same time. So, it's...
I think there was about 2 moments we popped for tonight. Actually, I think there was about 2 moments we popped for, like genuinely popped for. One of them was Christian's return, obviously. The other one was the Iconics in the ring together. I think, and doesn't that say how good they were as a team and how stupid it was to break them up?
So, do you think there's a possibility they come back together?
Yes.
If WWE knew what was right for them, yeah, sure, but I don't think they do. I mean, the Billie Kay thing was fine, but they're better together. Because you've got a decent wrestler in Peyton Royce and a really cracking character actor in Billie Kay, So... Yeah. Whereas individually, their strengths are they complement each other really well, as well as the chemistry they've got, because they're just natural friends,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the big thing is I think just because they are natural friends, I think that's why they were so good. Why they split them up, I have no clue. I mean, it goes back to kind of like...
because Vince was in the office one day and went, you know what we should do tonight? Break up the Iconics. Write it in the script.
Yeah. We'll push Peyton, but then Peyton doesn't have confidence in character to sort of get that over yet. So you take her away from the Iconics and she loses like a major part of what really makes them work as a team. I mean, that's why they put together in NXT.
In another tag team with Lacey.
Which was complete. There was no chemistry there whatsoever.
It made no sense.
Well, and see, that's another thing is WWE like gives up on their storylines like too quick.
Mm-hmm.
If they were going to push Peyton and Lacey together, give it a month or two before you go, okay, this isn't working.
But that's what WWE do. Look at Keith Lee.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's which is why their stories and stuff don't make sense part of the time, or they have a storyline that lasts 2 weeks, or they try and throw something together the week before a pay-per-view and make it sound like it's important, and people just go, well, I don't care because there's nothing to this.
It's one of the things that annoys me so much about Raw. Like people are always saying this person's getting a push, Matt Riddle's getting a push, Keith Lee's getting a push, Big E's getting a push. Where? Until we see it, why are we assuming there's a push? Peyton Royce was getting a push. What are you talking about? Until we see it, there's no push. Because and the thing is, you can't even guarantee that any sort of push that the company tries to make is going to work anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's one thing we do a lot as fans, actually, and I see it a lot on different review shows where we say this person's getting a push, and until it happens, I don't think anyone's getting a push.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of things have to change, though.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
if they don't, when fans do come back, I don't think fans will go to it if they don't change what they're doing.
I don't think fans will come back. I don't understand why this concept of once we're out of this COVID era that the fans will come back. Why? What purpose have they got?
I agree.
If they were engaged in the product, they would be watching wrestling. We've seen other companies, AEW, show growth, right, during the COVID era, and WWE hasn't. It lost a lot of fans at the beginning by stupid booking, and I don't think they're coming back at all. I don't see why would they. They're watching Coronation Street now, or whatever you guys have across there.
Pretty much anything, because right now, I mean, just the whole thing just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
Let's see here. Maven, bang on the money again, Eve says. Good job, Maven.
Thank you. I try.
Hey, to be honest with you, the returns this year were not very good. Carlito, and when you surprised Edge on when he was the number one. The thing about the Carlito thing is I think they had to change a couple things up because of the COVID thing. So I think that there's some things that they changed and made. I don't know how many people have COVID. There's at least 2 probably that do.
Well, we can.
That we know for sure.
One that's confirmed, and the other one we're assuming because they live together and stuff. Because Mia Yim and Keith Lee, Mia Yim was tested positive.
Yeah.
And so we're assuming that Keith Lee is COVID positive too because
or isolating.
Yeah, one of the two. Yeah. Also, the other thing I find very interesting is that Uso was not on the show. Jey Uso was scheduled to be in the Rumble and then was taken out of it.
Yes.
Right. Weird, eh?
So I wonder, I suppose potentially he could be one that had some issues there too with the COVID thing.
Maybe so. Or he's been arrested again.
Yeah. James says, Raw doesn't have my idol. That's why Asuka is booked like she is. The thing is James, if they're just going to rely on Becky and Charlotte and Bayley and Sasha and Ronda, if she were to come back, they're not going to get anywhere.
No, because they're not creating stars.
No. And they have some other people that could be stars, I think, if they would just give them the opportunity and let them run with them.
Rhea Ripley, anyone?
Yeah, definitely.
Gonna talk about her in a minute.
Edge was number 1. Wait, when's the last time we had somebody start off the Rumble match and won it at the end?
Well, Ric Flair obviously did in 92. Shawn Michaels did in 95. I can't think of the others. I'm sure there's others.
Danny says Benoit did it. Was the last person
Benoit
to do
did
it.
Yes, Benoit did it. Yeah. So there has been a couple, yeah. The weird thing was, though, there was 2 Rumbles. Bianca Belair was number 3, was she? Or was she number 2?
3.
So
she was 3 because Naomi was 2.
So 2 Rumbles with very early entrants winning the actual Rumble. I thought it was quite surprising, actually.
Yeah. How about Kane showing up? That was interesting.
I was down with that.
Yeah. If Lacey doesn't get some sort of push after this Charlotte feud, it's ridiculous. She's proved worthy of it, to me, overall, in multiple ways. I would agree, because I think that Lacey has done a good job with pretty much anything they've given her. I think that at the beginning she had some issues in ring, but I think she's gotten better in ring. Like when she first started out, I felt that they were trying to push her, and she wasn't ready to be pushed in the ring.
I agree.
And I think she's come a long way.
They moved her up from NXT quite quickly, didn't they? She wasn't down there for very long. So I potentially see what you're saying there. But I think she's a great character. And I think her matches are good. So, I mean, she doesn't feel like a leader, per se. Sort of someone, but at the same time, you know, we haven't seen enough of her either. I mean, when was the last time we saw a Lacey Evans match that wasn't a 6-man garbage, you know?
That's been a while.
Yeah.
Well, the last ones I can remember was last year at Royal Rumble against Bayley.
Yeah.
You know, and that didn't necessarily work. I thought the stuff they were doing with the daughter was quite interesting, but so yeah.
See, I find that a lot of her stuff, it all goes back to her character work, and she's done a really great job of. She's one that stays in character 90% of the time, whether it's, you know, on television, on social media, in person. She stays in character, and so I find that helps her get her gimmick across. You know, very, very similarly to MJF, I guess, because he's about the only other person off the top of my head that I can think of that stays in character like 24/7 in everything that he does. And you look at it and you go, well, maybe that's why they're so good.
Maybe so.
Because they keep character all the time and they don't break it, and we don't see this other side of them that, you know, we go, oh, I like you, or oh, I don't like you for whatever reason.
And that's an old like wrestling trope as well. Like wrestlers used to sort of keep their gimmick alive. You know, Bob Orton walking around with a cast in his arm in real life and stuff. And maybe you're right. Maybe that is why. Because they're so engaged with it and constantly and know the character inside out. From a sort of acting perspective, it's quite interesting. And I think you're right, Maven. I think that she does really know her character. Because if not, this could come across as really stupid and goofy. But actually, what she's doing with Ric Flair, she's still able to stand out, and that stood next to Ric Flair and Charlotte when the story isn't really about her; it's about Rick and Charlotte, and that's good. That's very good.
Well, again, that goes back to her character. I think because her character, she does a good job with who she is, and I said from the beginning that she had everything but the in-ring work. And over time, she has gotten better in the ring.
Yeah, that comes with time.
And so I think that...
can you imagine if she started having regular matches as opposed to just promos and 6-man tag matches with no time, you know? Yeah, I think there's huge potential there. Huge potential.
And it's just a matter of WWE trying to unleash the beast and let her do her thing.
Well, going back to the tag team thing, like I have no idea why Charlotte Flair isn't tag teaming with Lacey Evans.
Well, that's something that you said when she was first brought up. You were like, okay, so I think that Lacey and Charlotte could feud because they're like very similar, but also they could be a tag team.
Absolutely.
And that could work.
Yeah.
I feel like they tried that out like maybe for a week or 2 weeks, that they just randomly had them paired on a Raw or SmackDown or something and then just threw it out. And a lot of people were like, why did you do that? Like, that could have worked.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have as much chemistry as Peyton and Lacey.
Yeah, definitely. Bad Bunny with the cross body, LOL. Yes. That was a heck of a move there.
Yeah.
I honestly was expecting Booker T to come out and do something rather than Bad Bunny. And I don't know.
All I've got to say is Snoop Dogg clearly did it better.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he most absolutely certainly did.
Well, Bad Bunny like threw his body out there and was like, "Okay, you guys got to catch me."
So did Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg jumped off the top rope, landed on his feet.
He threw his body up there. His feet just happened to hit the floor when he did it.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Fun fact with Edge winning tonight, he is the first ever Hall of Famer to win the Rumble after being inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's interesting.
That is a really fun fact. Thank you, John White.
Yeah.
That's really
yes. Fun. Funny thing is, in the split, the Iconics and put them as separate tag teams. Yeah, I don't. The Iconics should have never been split up.
Never. Shouldn't have happened.
Ever. Lacey has a great gimmick, great mic work, awesome on social media, and improves in the ring each match. She went against all 4 horsewomen and had solid matches with all 4, even in losses. Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I think that her biggest issue is just getting in the ring and working.
Yeah, that's all she needs.
And time, and she's come a long ways from where she was with to start.
Absolutely.
I like what Naomi and Bianca Belair did. Yeah, the problem is they use that so many times. It was used over and over again.
Lacey Evans, I feel, is what you get when a wrestler has no experience on the indie scene and only has a WWE PC career and no wrestling history, like Charlotte has, for example.
100% agree. And that's the problem. She hasn't had the time in ring, and she's not getting the time in ring, which is why she's behind where she should be. But actually, as a performer, she's actually outstanding in terms of character work. But I agree with that completely. And the only thing that will ever hold her back will be WWE. If they don't let her go out and wrestle a fun style, like you say about the indies, then she'll never be able to develop to the point of the other girls that you mentioned, Asuka, Sasha, Bayley, who all have lots of experience outside of WWE.
Absolutely.
Well, with that in mind, with AEW being around now, these wrestlers that may not have that opportunity, especially like someone like her, if she had the opportunity to go down to AEW and be there,
it's interesting because
they will use their women. If nothing else, they use them on Dark. So they are getting the in-ring experience.
Yeah, she'd be getting the in-ring experience when she already has the ability to do the promos and the great character work.
But the issue there is maybe the opposite. Maybe the issue there, and I don't know how often this has happened, where a WWE specifically trained performer has gone into the indies as opposed to the other way around. But if you look at Miro as an example, when he came into AEW, I didn't feel that a lot of his work was very good because he was still wrestling a WWE style on what is a more, if you want, indie centric show, or it's certainly AEW now. They've got their own style, but he was still working a WWE style, and that's why his early matches for me were garbage because it just felt so slow. And maybe that would be the same issue if someone like Lacey or Bianca, who are very talented at what they do, but still trained in that WWE way, if they went to the opposite way. It's a really interesting concept, actually. Really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you wonder whether she could expand and grow if she was in a situation like that. Because she would definitely get in-ring opportunities, whether it's on the main show or on Dark. So the opportunities would be there.
She'd get opportunities, but would it be that do you know what I mean? Would it fit in AEW? I don't know, and I don't know if we've seen that yet. Apart from Miro, would be the closest.
She might have to adapt some things, but she hasn't been around long enough to really. Personally, I don't think she's been in WWE enough and had enough matches to really be stuck in a WWE style.
Maybe not. Maybe not, man. Maybe not. And people can adapt as well. Absolutely. So yeah. Interesting. A really interesting thought there that I've never thought about before, the opposite way around. We've got a load of new people in chat. Hello, everyone.
Yes, we do. Hello, Justin. Hello, Christian. How you doing?
Hello.
Lacey is one of those that's been most hurt by no house shows for almost a year now to get more and more in the ring time off air. Yeah, definitely. Yes. I think that, again, it's just experience. Mickey James also returned. Some people were excited to see Lana. I mean, I think seeing her was okay, but I wasn't excited about it or anything. I mean, they kind of killed her storyline, didn't they?
While we're on Lana, what's going on with the women in WWE? Are they all losing weight, and are they being told to lose weight? Because if that's the case, I'm not best pleased with it. But there was a lot of women today who look like they've lost a lot of weight.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what the situation with Lana is, but with Nikki Cross in specific, I really noticed with her, and she was one that had COVID.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I didn't
And
know
so
that.
I was wondering if that had something to do with it.
Maybe
Possible.
so. Possible, yeah.
I don't know about Lana, but Lana was out for a really long time.
Mm. I
And
just
so-
noticed a couple of people today, and it that sort of stuff makes me worry because I don't like any company telling people how they need to look. And if they were to be pushing them towards doing that, I'd be really upset with WWE.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I've noticed both on the men and women's side. There have been a lot of people that seem to have lost weight, and sort of, some of them have sort of, muscled up, like Braun. I mean, Braun is like, jacked now.
Yeah.
I mean, he was jacked before, but he's more defined.
Well, here's the question. So Braun, Braun's obviously lost weight. Did he have COVID?
I don't know.
I don't know. Nikki didn't have COVID, Eve said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that was something I think I don't even remember. I thought I saw that she and
We get our news from different sources.
Killian.
Sources.
Well,
Whatever.
that's the interesting part is like, because there's several. I mean, you talk about the women. You look at it like the men. Like Braun has lost weight.
Otis.
So, and what was it? Nikki and Lana obviously have trimmed down some. So I don't know if it's just the women's aspect of it.
It's
or-
both sides.
yeah.
That I've noticed it.
So I wonder if that. But my concern is that that's a MO from
A WWE
WWE,
putting it out there.
which
Yeah, I don't.
but we won't know. But if it is,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
It is. Definitely.
Get your performers to be athletic and stuff. But the girls are so tiny anyway. I mean, absolutely tiny. Charlotte Flair's
Yeah.
tiny in real life, So I just hope that that's not a company-wide thing. It's just something to be sort of conscious of, really, and maybe it's something that we'll have to keep an eye out for more.
Yeah, definitely. Eve says, no. What I'm saying is Charlotte's a PC only talent, but she has a variety of wrestling knowledge through the experiences of her father and brother's experience. Yeah, I mean, she grew up around it. So Lacey is a PC only with no other infusions of experience. Yeah, Lacey's been contracted to WB since 2016. I mean, I guess it's 5 years, but like,
It's not long.
no. And if you haven't been in the ring a lot,
No. If you haven't been in the ring
it's
before.
one of those things that's, yeah. I was disappointed there were no surprise debuts in the Women's Rumble, more specifically Taya or Tessa. Again, I don't know that there's a lot they can do with that.
I think sometimes we get our hopes up for stuff. Tessa, from what I'm aware, and this is just what I'm aware, has been quite vocal about COVID and not wanting to put herself at risk. And if you don't want to put herself at risk, then staying out of the Royal Rumble is the best way to do that,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otis lost weight. Yeah, he was another one that's lost some weight. So I don't know if it's like company telling him to lose weight or what's going on. Braun was suspended. Well, Braun also, I mean, he lost a lot of weight though too.
Well, he was suspended in like storyline.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Oh yeah, that
And
was just story. Yeah.
Braun is jacked. Yeah, I mean, what he's done is with his body is like crazy. Nikki had been in contact with someone that had COVID and had to take the 2 weeks off, but never tested positive for COVID.
That's
Cool.
what it was.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eve. Eve's here to just correct us.
He fixes our misinformation.
Well, I know it was something surrounding that. It was either, she tested positive for COVID or she was in contact with somebody for COVID, but that's what I remember. It was like a while ago.
Yeah. Braun has been cutting weight and working out like a madman for several months now, purposely. Yeah. His knee was healing too. I didn't know Victoria returned to WWE Royal Rumble. Yes. Guys, I'm reading a report that Cesaro's contract could be expiring after Mania. That's interesting. I mean, he's got options out there.
Oh God, yeah. Can you imagine Cesaro in New Japan? Jesus.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah, definitely.
With his sort of name power now. Jesus, it'd be great. He could do really well. But it's up to him what he wants to do. It's up to all of them, you know?
Well, and I think he's a big enough name that if he wanted to go somewhere else, he wouldn't have an issue.
He'd be fine,
like,
yeah.
You know, picking where he wants to go.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
I think Bayley should have won the Rumble after all. Bayley has done what have Bianca done, but very little since getting called up. Well, again, I think she's beat Bayley.
Last night, or Friday night, yeah. I was really confused by that. But I think we'll talk about that when we get onto the Rumble.
Yeah. I like the Rumble on the men's and women's side. Did Taya sign her contract? I do not know. Jared?
Don't know.
Sorry, man. I haven't seen anything. Braun wasn't in great shape before he left. He was like kind of chunky. I mean, he wasn't in bad shape, but like now he's cut.
Yeah.
Braun looks the same, which is good. He's bigger now. No, Maven is right. That was reported that she had COVID, but it wasn't right. You get a lot of that on the internet. What are you saying, Eve? Come on, Dan.
You get us podcast just talking crap.
Dan.
I'm not allowed to say that on Wrestle Story.
The internet is not where we get our information.
No, not at all.
I can't believe that everything on the internet isn't true. Becky absolutely teased fans on IG. She posted a picture in her IG story of the curtain on the other side of the backstage, the red curtain seen during Reigns Owens. Yes, she did.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't have done that because it definitely confirmed that Seth was in the Rumble.
Yeah,
I know that she was trying to.
I feel like Seth was already a given that he was going to be in the Rumble. Like, at least to me, I feel like it was already, obvious that he was coming back based on the fact that he was supposed to return, 3 weeks ago, but then didn't for whatever reason. It was right after, Brody had died, and so I'm assuming that he just, took the time off and said, I'm not coming back yet. And then,
course,
I just figured he was going to be back in the Rumble anyways.
Yeah.
Eve says, I don't know if I agree on the 5 years not being long enough. I mean, there are a lot of better performers than Lacey elsewhere with less experience. Also, Taya Conti has improved greatly in AEW in a short time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. So because you are involved in the business. So the question I have is like with Lacey Evans, if WWE sees her as being a particular type and a way of pushing a character, do they try to push her that way even if she wouldn't feel comfortable doing that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think in terms of 5 years, Eve, is 5 years long enough in the WWE? And that's the difference because they so overproduce the workers. That maybe that's the difference. I don't know if 5 years is a long term in the WWE. Does that compute? I don't know. You tell me, man. You know. But yeah, in terms of outside work, yeah, probably she could be great. And if she had that coming in, she'd be great. But yeah, I don't know. Because in 5 years, what she's doing, she's working house shows where they're working 6-man tag matches. And a very relaxed style, and yeah, I don't know what the answer is.
That's not me saying PC training isn't good because obviously they have great trainers, but it's not going to work for everyone. Or Lacey just isn't at the top tier level. 5 years is long enough. And then to finish off, I mean, you might not see them wrestling on TV much, but they are wrestling almost every day and rehearsing those matches as well. My question becomes because it becomes different once you take it to the next level. I mean, even if you don't have any fans at WrestleMania, right? Mm-hmm. The fact that it's a WrestleMania match, if it's like one of your early matches, right? Mm-hmm. I would think that because it's different wrestling with your buddies in the ring at no name gym, right? Mm-hmm. Or even the PC Center, because there's no cameras there. There's nobody going to be sitting there talking about it. And then you step out, and even going on to Raw or SmackDown. Now you've got a lot of eyes on you. So I think just the experience of being in ring in that situation, Raw, SmackDown, getting on the pay-per-views, because the eyes that are going to be on you, it changes the dynamic of things. You know, just in my experiences, like I had kids like my coaching and stuff. I had kids that could perform in practice, like, but then like when they stepped into a situation where they had a bigger audience, it was like a totally different thing because now they've got eyes on them and their people are seeing them, and it took them time to get used to, you know, performing in front of those audiences, you know. So how much of it is not just, you know, performing in the PC center, but being able to perform in front of a crowd, or knowing that you're going to be performing in front of a crowd. I know right now there's no crowds, but there's still a lot of people watching.
Well, as someone who's like a trained actor, the way that I sort of put it to is if I had a director telling me, stand here, move there, pull this face, go there, and blah blah blah, right? Whatever it is, someone directing, telling me what to do. My performance wouldn't be as good as someone talking to me and going, what is your character? What would you do in this situation? And why would you do this? And that's like a big step. And I feel personally like WWE can overproduce the stars and be that director that's telling them where to go. And that doesn't necessarily relate directly to the matches, but just in terms of the from what I've seen of their overall sort of presentation, it doesn't seem as fluid. And that's where you get you sort of method acting from and stuff like that. Sorry to go into that. That's
Well, it is, but I think it ties into, you know, the whole idea of being a performer, just stepping out there. Just because you're good at something, you may be a good wrestler, but it's a different concept when you're stepping out there in front of a crowd.
I'm a better performer if instead of directing me one way, you let me discover it myself. And then once I discover it myself, I understand it. And I feel like that could be a comparison. And I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, I've never been in wrestling, so I don't know. But that could be a comparison between sort of the wrestlers who find themselves on the indie scene by sort of working and learning how to react to the audience, as opposed to these sort of massive training sessions that they've got.
Yeah,
you know, you can have all the best training in the world, but it doesn't make you know, famous actor, whoever. But you know, someone like the names that you named earlier, Bailey, Sasha, they've all had that experience outside. They've all had to find themselves and sort of develop that. And then it's about fine tuning it as opposed to teaching it. And there's a massive difference there. I think, but I don't really know. Sorry, I'm random.
But even after the thing is, even after you've taught it, even if you're teaching it to someone, they still have to step out and feel comfortable enough to perform. Like I've had, you know, like me coaching, I'm teaching them things, but I've had kids that were just super talented. But at a young age, you know, they weren't as well-rounded and able to perform at the big stage compared to, you know, 2 years down the road where they just like look like superstars. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because the talent wasn't there when they were a little younger.
No.
It's because they started to feel comfortable enough being in that situation that they could do it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, Maven. We're just ranting, aren't we? We're just two old dudes
Jake,
just chatting.
So then we have Drew McIntyre against Goldberg.
Hi.
What are you hi-hi-ing for? It ended the way you wanted it to.
It's just, but like, what was the point though? Like, honestly, I don't.
Well, the point is, it puts Drew over. He beat Goldberg. Yay! Whoop-de-doo-de-doo.
But again,
I just don't care.
Really, that's kind of in the position that I'm in. Is like, I just don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me that you beat Goldberg.
No.
Like, okay, great.
If you'd put on a match that was like entertaining, but Jesus Christ, this was a slog.
It was 2 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, but again, Goldberg's matches have never lasted long.
Which I don't care. It just wasn't entertaining.
I mean, it's not like it's something that's totally off the, you know, out of the ordinary here, that this 2 minute and 30 second match. Goldberg's matches have never been.
No, they've never been
like marathons. So
Well, and to me, I'm just like, okay, whatever. What was the point? I mean, it was 2 minutes and 32 seconds of my life that I'll never get back, but whatever.
And a load of promos and all this sort of crap.
Exactly, yeah. It was just like, I don't know. It seemed like it was a waste of time.
Mm.
You started the show off with this. It wasn't necessarily,
Engaging?
Yeah. To keep, like, the fans after it. You know what I mean? Like, no, like, to start the show with it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, just because it's Drew McIntyre and Goldberg. It's going to be 2 minutes long or whatever, and then that's it. Like, why should anybody... I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like the best example of a Goldberg match that was like this was with Brock Lesnar a couple of years ago. And I don't think he's going to beat that. And that's fine. He can get the paycheck. That's what he's entitled to, and he retires whenever he wants to. But it's. I don't think you'll get bigger than that Brock Lesnar match, which went on 5 minutes, but at least it felt like two guys killing each other, and it sort of.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, I don't care if it's a 2 minute and 32-second match, but like,
No.
make it mean something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It is what it was.
Well, yeah, I personally think that you don't like Goldberg at all, so that's...
No, I don't
match
care.
off for you
I
in the
just
first place.
don't care for Goldberg in the first place.
But I knew that this
But
match
it's
was...
almost like, but what's the point though? Okay, Drew
Well, here's the
McIntyre
point.
beat Goldberg, but in the long run, does this really help Drew? No, it was just a match at the pay-per-view.
It kind of does. It's just a waste of time. It does help Drew beating Goldberg. Of course it does.
But the point is because Goldberg's going to come back again, he's going to have a match later in the year.
With Roman.
Well, whoever.
Yeah, with Roman.
And so...
Well, actually, now I'm not so sure, but probably with Roman.
The fact that Drew kicked out of the jackhammer, I think, helps get him over.
I'm surprised he even hit the jackhammer.
So
I really didn't think they were going to do it.
I just feel like Drew's better than this, and he's had sort of this long run of matches with Randy Orton, which was slightly overbooked. But come on, like, just put him in a feud with Sheamus now, and let's just watch Drew wrestle, because he can wrestle. He's a great wrestler, and so can someone like Sheamus, and that's what I want to see. This sort of stuff doesn't pop me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it just doesn't do anything.
No.
For me personally.
I agree to a certain extent. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand. But the thing is, they're going to bring back the legends somehow, some way. And so rather than just bringing them all back in the Rumble, this is the way to do it.
And they give the right result, and that's important as well.
I feel like for Drew specifically, like you said, he's had like his entire title run really hasn't been that great.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying it's great, and I sort of agree with you. I think it's been... I think it's had moments, but I don't think it's been one... But then it's a really difficult time, man. A really difficult time. He's had matches with AJ that were really good. He's had matches with Dolph that was a decent match. His Bobby Lashley match was fairly good. The Orton stuff, some of it was good. It's been okay. It's difficult, man, because he's in a really hard spot.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it. I mean, the thing is you knew this wasn't going to be a long match, and the fact that a lot of people thought Goldberg was going to win just because they were having the match.
Oh no, yeah, I did, yeah. So I was pleased for that result.
So
I feel like a lot of people have that idea in their head that Goldberg is going to win, because every match that Goldberg has had this far that's been for the championship or that he's had since he's come back, he's pretty much won.
Yeah.
Because that's just what they've done with him. So I think everybody has this preconceived notion that, okay, Goldberg is coming to wrestle, and that means he's going to win. He's going to win the title. He's going to hold the title for the next 3 months or whatever. And then he's going to drop it to the next, big thing, which in this case would be Roman. And they didn't do that, which it didn't really shock me, but at the same time, I'm just like kind of, okay. Interesting. Somewhat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just I don't engage with this type of wrestling that much, so there's no reason why bigger guys can't have matches. For example, Drew and Roman, I thought were all right at Survivor Series. There's no reason that it can't happen. This doesn't engage me.
Yeah, I mean, I could see people that don't like it. I mean, it
Yeah.
was again, I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Eve says, you notice the older Goldberg gets, the more he looks like Gilberg.
I need another wee, and I'm going to make another coffee. I'm really sorry. I've been
All right.
streaming for hours, and it is 6 in the morning.
No problem.
Keep going, comments.
Did anyone see when Goldberg got about the ring? He acted like he was out of breath. I think he was, James. I think he was. How you doing, Swerve Show? But he's 54 years old, so, you know, I hope to look like him when I'm 54, but I doubt I will. I almost look like him, and you know, I'm a few years away from being 54. So, I've liked Drew's reign. All this things considered, the scenario is difficult. He botched the jackhammer. Well, I think did he botch it or did Drew?
I don't know, because
the feet hit first.
Yeah, the feet hit first, and so I don't know if that was a Drew thing where he just brought his feet down, like, but also gravity. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. As for the Drew title reign, to me, you know, like I kind of said, I feel like it's been very lackluster, and it hasn't been the best in my opinion. And it's not necessarily because of anything Drew has done, but I feel like it's the booking of it per se. That hasn't been the best, and like when you're booking Drew in the same matches over and over and over again, like with Randy Orton, for like months on end, I feel like that doesn't help him. Like, I don't know. I feel like that doesn't help him and doesn't help his title reign, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know.
I disagree. I've liked Drew a lot the last year as champion. The older HBK looks more like Hogan, even handlebar mustache. HBK seems to be losing weight. He's like become thinner. Doesn't he? I mean, looking at him, he just looks like he's becoming like skinny and like, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. I think it's called Thinner, where the guy gets skinnier as he, I don't know. You're right, Eve. I hope I look like Goldberg too in my 50s. You will observing stuff. Just go work out. Goldberg versus Gilberg. Who wins? Well, considering Gilberg's had some health issues, I would say Goldberg would win. HBK is becoming the exact person he despised all his life. That's funny.
Wow.
Gilberg greater than Goldberg. Sorry. Let's not play around. Drew McIntyre's doing better than the Raw Women's Champion. Yeah, definitely.
Oh God!
Has anyone kicked out of the jackhammer before Drew tonight?
I don't know.
Did Brock kick out of it?
That's what I'm trying to think.
There must have been someone in WCW.
Might have. Someone probably has.
I'm pretty sure Brock has. Maybe even in the 2014 Throw a Dart match.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, that's what I would say too. I didn't think Edge was going to win. It was Goldberg's botch. So the jackhammer was Goldberg's botch.
Oh, we've got a good botch to talk about later.
At least Goldberg picked him up. Yeah, he did. At least he didn't like screw it up there. Yeah. Gilberg is the example of peak perfection. Little Rascal says, I think Edge challenged Roman Reigns for Universal Championship at WrestleMania 37 on SmackDown.
Okay, I'm going to wait a minute to talk about this.
How you doing, Alex? I really like the Rumble. Great show. The only thing is that I felt that Shinsuke should have lasted longer and not randomly eliminated by Corbin. I would agree with that. I think Shinsuke should have lasted longer.
What, on the fact that Cesaro and Shinsuke should have had some obvious storytelling in there?
Interaction?
Yeah, but, you know.
Yeah, I know. You can't ask for everything.
Yeah. When you take the jackhammer, the only job for the guy taking it is to post and straighten themselves up. The guy delivering the jackhammer is in control from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, that's interesting.
There we go.
Very few people kicked out of the jackhammer. Yeah, definitely. Hello, Wrestle Story. How you doing, Eric? Do you think we see more returns for tomorrow and SmackDown?
Returns. I think Carlito will be on Raw tomorrow. They've already set it up. He got eliminated by Elias, so Carlito will be interrupting his concert or something. Excuse me.
I'm not going to say returns But I think that a lot of the people that we saw in the Rumble tonight, like Rhea Ripley, I think she's gonna, show up on Raw. I mean, very similar to like what you said with Carlito. Just people that we already saw in the Rumble. I think they'll be back on Monday or Friday to, do a one-off spot or just, make their presence known on Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, agreed.
So.
I think the thing about the returns is, I think right now because of COVID and stuff and no fans, I don't know how much you want to bring people in right now, knowing that here probably in the next 4 months or so, there's going to be the ability to have fans.
Yeah.
I think Rhea and Damien make sense as call-ups for WrestleMania build-ups, and that'd be all I'd do.
I agree. I think Rhea's going to end up on Raw, and I think Damian Priest should go on Raw, but I think he'll end up on SmackDown.
Am I the only one that doesn't really care about Carlito?
I really don't care.
I'm not a huge, like...
Dom was proper marking out. It's Carlito. I was like, but wasn't he at a time of wrestling where it was sort of on a downward slope and sort of...
Yeah.
I thought it was weird, but Dom was loving it. Which is great. Cool. Yeah. Everyone seemed excited in chat, actually, as well, so cool.
Well, a lot of people were, when they announced him for Legends Night or whatever, everybody got so excited for that, and I was just kind of like, okay.
Cool.
Like, cool,
Yeah.
And then when he didn't show up, everybody was like, what? And I was like, I don't get it, but okay.
We've got 18 people in chat. Thank you so much for joining us and chatting with us. You guys make the show what it is, man.
Considering we got on here late, and
mate,
appreciate everybody.
I don't know. This is like the best crowd we've ever had, though. Like, honestly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you could hit that like button, it really helps us out, and consider subscribing to the channel for more nightly wrestling reviews from these beautiful people over there.
And make sure if you do not subscribe to Gimme a Hole, go over and subscribe to their channel, as they are a couple of awesome dudes.
Rock and roll. There we go. We've done the plugs.
I'm surprised Jay White didn't show up, but I sounded dumb saying that. I think that the big thing is any big, shocking, like, returns, like, totally shocked, like someone that may not have been in WWE in a long time, or just is someone that's going to be new coming to WWE. I would almost think you wait about 4 months to bring them in. 4 or 5 months, because then you have a crowd to bring them into.
Potentially.
And I mean, if they end up not being able to have, fans, then
well, they're trying to push for Mania having fans. I feel like that's a bit close, and I don't think we necessarily should do that.
I think it'll happen, though, with Florida state laws. I mean, look at how AEW seems to be getting around it pretty well.
I agree.
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't had fans. Honestly.
I am. They wanted them for the Rumble as well, so I don't understand why, but hey-ho.
Yeah. And it's not going to be a sellout or anything like that, but they could have some people come in and watch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought Carlito was going to come out with an apple, but no apple tonight.
Well, he did have the apple with
he had the apple.
Yeah. He offered his apple to Shinsuke.
Yeah. Damian Priest will debut on Raw or SmackDown this week.
I agree.
I think
SmackDown. Yeah, I think he'll be on SmackDown.
Yeah.
I think so too, solely because I think they're sending Rhea to Raw, and it just makes sense to send Damian Priest to the other brand.
Observing stuff, probably because people wanted him. Also, love Carlito, one of the best mid-carders ever. Rhea lost NXT, that she had to leave NXT if she lost. Yeah, I mean, where she had to leave NXT, and then they never really did anything with it. Rhea should be up on the main roster somewhere.
Should be.
But you know how that goes.
I think she will be on Raw, hopefully.
I think Raw makes sense, because you can have her take the title off Asuka and make it mean something again. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Carlito was in much better shape than I expected. Yeah, he actually looked like he was in really good shape. I mean, just looking at him. Carlito got jacked. I imagine this would have been a makeup booking from their botch last year, where they advertised Carlito appearing but never actually booked him.
Yeah, from Legends Night.
Yeah. Yep. I have recommended video Carlito being interviewed. He may make a return. Yep. I saw few pictures of him after WBA, and he looked a little out of shape, but now he's totally jacked.
Good.
Yeah. I could totally see Carlito getting a job out of that appearance, though. Yeah, I definitely could see it.
Yeah, he did well in the Rumble. I mean, it's not like he didn't do anything, so yeah, definitely.
Whether it's with WWE or some other big company, I mean, he came in shape, and I think that would play huge in somebody wanting to bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying 25,000 max for Mania. Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying is I think that they could have some crowds at these events, and soon. In Florida right now, they just kind of
Florida doesn't care.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Yeah. Eve says, I've worked with Carlito, and to be honest, he always put a shift in.
Cool. He trains as well, doesn't he, I think?
Yeah.
Rhea is main roster now, yeah.
I think so.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. That gimmick isn't appropriate these days. We say the stuff. I would spit in your face if you didn't want to be cool.
Vince is going to do something awful with that. You wait. Carlito is going to be COVID Carlito now. Jesus.
Oh, that'd be stupid.
Jesus.
21 likes. Yowie wowie.
Thank you guys. You guys.
I've only got 20 showing up here, so maybe, but 20, 21, whatever. I think he will join WWE like MVP did. Yeah, it's possible.
That's what people want.
Then we have after by the way, McIntyre won the match.
Yeah, if we didn't already get that, McIntyre won.
Sasha versus...
Dudes, we've been talking about a Goldberg and Drew match that lasted 2 bloody minutes for about 20, 30.
Well, that's because we can turn anything into, longer than necessary.
Content. Get them YouTube dollars rolling in, baby.
So Sasha versus Carmilla. Now this is the match where the stream on Gimme a Hole Yeah totally crapped out.
Lost internet to my building.
Gone.
Yeah.
And honestly, this was okay. I didn't really care solely because we've seen this a couple times already, and I don't care. This entire Sasha and Carmilla feud, it's this entire Carmilla gimmick. I'm not a fan. It's just, I don't know, so different from the gimmick that she had before, and I'm not a fan of it.
The sommelier should have been in like a glittery suit, by the way, to match Carmella's ring gear.
Yeah,
that would have been fabulous, wouldn't it?
He should have. He should have.
Again, I don't know why they chose to have Carmella be the feud with Sasha right now.
Because they didn't have anybody else. That's what it was. They're not ready to do Bianca because they're building up Bianca for Mania, obviously, based on what they did. So they're just playing out Sasha versus Carmella until hopefully not again. I would imagine that Sasha's probably not really going to have any type of feud per se. Like, leading into Elimination Chamber and, like, Fastlane and stuff, I'm not expecting anything huge from her over the next couple months, and then they're going to start the build for Bianca. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, I think that's cool. The problem is with the way WWE does it. Bianca and Sasha will have 900 matches before...
Well, they've already had 900 matches. What are you talking about? Oh, you mean match. Bianca?
Bianca, not Carmella.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What'd I say? Did I say Bianca?
You did. Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares?
I enjoyed the Sasha Carmella match, but from what I saw of it, and then it got cut off. So how did it end?
So there was this really, 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 really bad suicide dive.
Okay.
Carmella dove through the ropes, as one does when they're doing a suicide dive, right? And Sasha caught her, but the entire front half of Carmilla went across the floor.
Ooh.
And it looked like she hit her jaw pretty hard. And then it just her face just the floor, and it did not look good at all. It looked really bad. So then ultimately it ended with the bank statement. Carmilla tapped out, and that was that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's hard to say because I was panicking to get the stream back on, but it seemed like a good match from what I saw.
Yeah, overall, I thought it was a good match.
Hmm.
Again, I just think that the whole Sasha and Carmilla thing didn't really, like... Simply because, like, it was Carmilla coming back and trying to change her gimmick and go a different way with her gimmick rather than, you know, kind of slowly building this up. I think that was the big reason I didn't like it.
You think it's gone too quickly into the matches as opposed to actually giving some sort of sense to Carmella's new character? Because while at the same time we're trying to understand Carmella's new character, we're also getting bombarded by these matches. So that makes sense. That makes complete sense, I think,
Yeah. Carmilla should have started with a mid-card level feud first when she returned. Yes, definitely. So see, David saying the same thing I'm saying. Congratulations to Edge and Bianca Belair on Royal Rumble. Yes. Edge eliminates Randy. Did we have Fastlane last year, or was it replaced by a Super Showdown?
I feel like it was replaced.
Yeah, I think it was replaced.
Fastlane is happening this year. I know this because it's on my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Yeah, so we'll be
everyone
doing...
get a party stream.
Yeah.
We'll all get drunk.
Yeah.
Mr. G. Yeah, Maven goes.
I'll be drinking water.
I'll be drinking water as well. Don't worry.
Ant always drinks water, so that's, you know. Let's see here. Oh man, that Carmilla dive was vicious. I thought she busted her face.
So did I.
And then Eve says it was reminiscent of the Lita suicide dive on Trish from years back.
Oh, that bad?
Yeah. It wasn't good.
Wow.
That was definitely a botched dive, says Raymond. Carmilla stayed there for like 4 seconds and got right up like it was nothing. Well, that's because she stayed there for 4 seconds and had to shake it off.
Well, Sasha did take the time after to make sure that she was okay. You know, she you know, Sasha being Sasha. I think that's something Sasha does very well, is check on people to make sure that they're all right during the matches. I think she does a really great job of that. You know, that's one thing I've noticed about her matches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Miz still have his Money in the Bank case. Yes. Jake says he did not like the Sasha versus Mella match. Okay. Lita looked like the heel of her foot touched the back of the head. Carmilla had a harsh fall similar to that. Yeah, definitely. Your birthday is the 21st, Maven. Mine is the 22nd.
It is. And the 21st is Fastlane.
Yeah.
Wow, math there, math. Well played, David.
You could tell Bianca Belair got so emotional. She did. She was pretty emotional. After
I don't know how I feel about it. Actually, yes, I do, and we're gonna talk about it in a minute.
Yeah. Emotional.
So then we have after the Banks and Carmella match, we have New Day backstage.
I thought this was really cool. The New Day had Brody Lee inspired gear. I think it was so cool. I saw there were pictures of it on Instagram of sort of the pictures drawn up for the gear concepts of what they wanted, and it's so cool. I think it's such a cool thing that they did.
Well, and the interesting thing is what Big E said. He said something about needing 60 minutes to change the course of wrestling history and appealing to the wrestling gods. So that kind of tied into, you know, the whole outfit they were wearing, which I thought was cool.
Nice, real nice.
So, I mean, I thought it was just a cool segment, and I thought that the outfits that they were wearing, and all three of the New Day were wearing the Brody Lee attire.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get the highlight of the night. I'm not sure if anybody else thought this was the highlight of the night, but we have Bad Bunny performing Booker T.
What was the point? This took up like 5 minutes of the show it was unnecessary.
Hey, hang on. I'm not sure what Ant was doing there, but he looked like, what am I talking about? Like,
no, I remember saying it. It was just
like he was like, he has to remember the highlight of the night was. No,
I don't. This was not the highlight of the night, dear. This hippity hop.
Dumb. I don't even. They didn't. It's not even like anybody good.
It might be. It might appeal to someone. I don't know. But then
it's like nobody knows who they are. So that's the problem.
Do you know they've never had Wednesday 13 in WWE singing his famous song, "The Ballad of the Nature Boy," which is all about Ric Flair. Woo! But they should do. Then I'd pop.
Don't give me any ideas because you know it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, this is just garbage, wasn't it? But whatever, it's cool. Someone might love it. It's promoting his album. He might be a star. I don't know.
And they needed it to kill time.
I guess. Time for what?
You had two rumbles. They can take as long as you want.
Because you had that. You had like 47 video packages, once, twice, 3 times.
A lady.
It just... I don't get it.
Yes.
Maven didn't get it, so...
Yes, perfect. It's an old song, Maven.
Yeah.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Fabulous. That's the word of the day. Fabulous. Apparently, I've said that a lot.
I like saying fabulous. It's a great word.
That's because
generally it's like
Carmilla is your favorite. That's why you're saying it.
No, not really. But generally, I don't know. Fantastic. This is, I don't know. Fabulous.
So Eve says, I didn't think this Sasha Carmella match was as smooth as the CLC match, but I think I preferred it slightly because of that. I love their attire is lovely. Just wait till my idol Becky returns. Yes, James, we're waiting. Bianca seems like an emotional person, which is cute, but I thought she knew she would win.
I'm going to talk about it here in just a
Kofi
second.
Kingston got injured or something.
Yeah, he did. He's still injured, so he can't...
The New Day gear was awesome. Brody's wife was emotional about it in her IG story. She had no clue they were doing it.
Oh, nice.
That's interesting.
Nice.
And that you know, that's what makes it so interesting is the fact that you know, that she didn't know about it, but it kind of again, it goes back to the kind of guy he was. You know, when you have someone a month later doing this. And I think it's just cool. So Dom,
one other thing I will say about that is Brody's wife was on the AEW Unrestricted podcast earlier this week or last week, whatever, recently, like one of the most recent episodes. And if you haven't given that a listen, I highly recommend you do, because it was gave you some more insight on the situation of what was happening. And I think it was really cool of her to do that.
Yeah, definitely. How is this the highlight of the night? Johnny Lee, if you can't figure out how Bad Bunny was not highlight of the night, then I'm not going to explain it to you.
Then you're not a goddamn wrestling fan.
That's right. Booker T stood in one spot for the whole song and then yelled into the mic once.
It was so funny. Like, he literally stood there the entire time.
Yeah.
Can you dig it?
Do you know, like, they could have done the same hologram crap that they did for The Undertaker.
We wouldn't have known the difference.
No, just bring a standee out. Just bring a standee out of Booker T and have him dancing around that. But then
they could have put up a cardboard thing and we wouldn't have known the difference.
That would have, yeah, would have.
Exactly.
Well, would have had the same effect. So
that's also known as a standee, Maven. So your suggestion was exactly what I just said. But it's not a problem. Don't tell anyone. All right, mate. We'll keep that between us.
Okay. Man.
So Eve says, my 13-year-old had no idea who Bad Bunny was. We were watching Rumble with some of the talent, and none of them knew him either. We assumed he was big in the U.S. and just not big here in the U.K. Well, Eve, I have kids in ages ranging from 3 to, older than that, and they have no clue.
This comment from Observing Stuff. Also, I seriously don't know what a Bad Bunny is. Imagine being a grown man calling yourself Bad Bunny.
He's worse than the Good Bunny.
Do you know that bunnies get around by hopping?
Yes.
Bad Bunny gets around by hippity hopping.
Yes. That's pretty good.
It was crap. It was awful. I'm sorry. Carry on.
That was good.
Carry on. No, it was awful. It tickled me though. I laughed. I popped for that.
We just had 10 likes go off our screen here.
Oh man.
We're down to 11.
Oh man. So we have the 30-woman Royal Rumble. Oh boy. This was Ant's dying now. He's gonna die right here on the stream, and he's in charge.
I killed Ant.
And then when we can't stop the stream because Ant is over
I know,
there.
he's the one that's running it.
To do?
You'll have to drive down here and just turn my PC off.
Yeah, we'll just drive across the ocean.
Yeah,
no big deal.
Ant's talking like, we'll just drive there. Yeah, I don't think so. We're not driving there.
Yeah, I did pop myself, but then we have been streaming for 8.5 hours now. So, wow.
So we have the women's 30 woman Rumble.
We have the women's 30 woman Royal Rumble. Oh man. So we start off with number 1 and 2, generally as one does when they're counting, right?
That's pretty good. Only thing is in the men's match they confuse them.
Oh god.
So you have Bayley coming in at number 1, and at number 2 we have a returning Naomi. Number 3 was Bianca. Number 4 was Billie Kay.
Have you written all these down?
No,
Yes, we've got those.
I didn't write them.
It's
They're
all right here.
Oh, wow.
Number 5 was Shotzi. Number 6 was Shayna. We then had Toni. We had Jillian Hall. That pretty much sums it up. We then had Ruby Riott.
Okay, you want me to go through this?
I don't care. Victoria,
Peyton Royce.
No, I was gonna.
Oh, then we had Then we had Peyton Royce. Then we had Santana Garrett.
Mr. G, you're missing out the airs after each name. Just to let you know. Carry on, Maven. Continue. She's going to get better now, or she's going to get really self-conscious. One or the other. We'll see which way it goes. Who knows?
All right. Victoria, Peyton Royce, Santana Garrett, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Dana Brooke, Tori Wilson, Lacey Evans, Mickie James, Nikki Cross, Alicia Fox, Mandy Rhodes, Dakota Kai, Carmella, Tamina, Lana, Alexa Bliss, Ember Moon, Nia Jax, and then number 30 was the lovely Natalya. So Shotzi got eliminated.
By the way,
first.
Natalya did not wear pink.
What was that all about?
I don't know.
Literally, her gear was matching with Lana. I don't understand it. I don't get it whatsoever. They were like, let's wear matching gear, except we're not supposed to know, like, that, you know, we're not friends anymore. But let's wear matching gear.
When Natalya turned heel, does anyone care?
No. This is very it was underwhelming.
David says, was anyone else sort of thrown off, confused by Natty's not wearing gear with any pink? Mm-hmm. It felt weird visually.
I was just weirded out that Natty was there in the first place.
If you've ever seen a YouTube, you know why.
Natty getting the number 30 spot and then doing virtually nothing with it was so stupid.
Well, she did do something. She got rid of a few people, didn't she?
She got rid of Lana.
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
And
yes, she did.
And she got rid of
why?
Lana.
Whatever. I don't care. Anyway.
So she eliminated Lana.
Cool.
That was it.
There
was a spot in the match where Shayna and Nia had some friction, and Nia ended up throwing Shayna out, and then they came back after and beat people up. It came down to Charlotte, Bianca, and Rhea. That was the final 3. This doesn't really shock me, but like, I don't know. I'm not mad with the way they did the Rumble with Bianca winning. I have no issue with this. Also, the other thing that I want to mention is the whole Alexa thing.
Pointless.
Yeah, like Alexa did absolutely nothing in this Rumble.
No.
At all. Like
the lights started going out.
And then she got pushed off the edge by Rhea. And that's what I'm kind of curious about, is to see where they go with that and see if they do a feud between Rhea and Alexa to begin with.
Could be good.
Before, Rhea goes for the title.
But again, both of them are new characters in Raw. I know that Alexa's been there a while, but they're both new characters within that environment. So how do you choose who wins and loses that? That's the danger with stuff like that.
I don't know. No clue. But I'd be intrigued to see what they do with it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then I'll be sorely disappointed when they ruin it. But, it's okay.
When Alexa doesn't sell for Rhea Ripley, Jesus.
I'm intrigued to see when they do nothing with it.
So Charlotte, Bianca, Rhea. It comes down to Bianca and Rhea to finish off the match. I thought they had a really good spot. I thought the end of this was probably the best part of it. I think both Rhea and Bianca look good. And then Bianca ended up winning the match, which is cool. Fine. I don't know. I feel like this just wasn't the right time for her. Solely because they have not done anything with her on the main roster since she was moved over after WrestleMania last year. She had the feud with Bayley, and that's fine. But I felt like that wasn't enough for me to like get behind her and want her to see the Royal Rumble, you know, and like have it be a big deal.
Cool.
Yeah, I would kind of agree.
I had a few issues with the Rumble. I think that it started off good. I like the fact that it was Bayley and Bianca in there early on. Naomi didn't do as much as I'd like, but a few of the big problems I had with the Rumble, a lot of skinning of the cat, a lot of I know it's a Royal Rumble. I'm not I've seen them before. But even when they are skinning the cat or whatever they're doing, you don't have to show it each time. And Kevin Dunn seemed to have a lot of problems tonight. Missing Bayley's ejection from the Rumble was ridiculous. I assume Bianca ejected her?
Yeah.
But again, missing that moment is just bizarre after SmackDown last week.
Well, see, and especially when like what they were focused on was Tori Wilson being eliminated instead of Bayley.
Yeah, that makes no sense. And then in terms of the in-ring, I just felt like the match wasn't produced very well. I feel like a lot of people come out. I don't mind the Billie Kay thing. I don't mind humour during the Rumble. I hate the 24/7 championship coming out during the Women's Rumble. Why do we have to have men interfering in a women's match all the time? Every year, I think. There's always been some sort of thing that's happened in the Rumble, and it's ridiculous.
To tie into what you're saying there with that, if they had just brought Truth out, like, you know, I'm confused. Oh man, I'm at the wrong Rumble.
Yeah,
all right, and then having go back to the dressing room, I would have been okay with that. But then, like, he's standing there and like everybody comes chasing the 24/7 championship, so it's like
maybe you should have had all the women chasing our Truth during the men's Royal Rumble, you know. But then people would be complaining. So I just don't like it. I just don't think it's fair. We're there to watch a match. Let's have the match instead of this goofy crap that's going on around it. Sorry, I keep saying that word. Sorry. My other major problem with tonight's Rumble, for this Rumble, was it felt like watching an 89 Rumble. And what I mean by that is I get that in a Rumble people are sort of working the corners of the ring and not really doing out. But when people came to the ring, they didn't make much impact. And quite often, the beginning was okay, but then certainly during the middle and towards the end, there was no story going on. It was just slow. I noticed a definite difference between the women and the men's Rumble. Like
the women's Rumble felt like everybody was just coming out and they filled up the ring with pretty much everybody. And then they all just sort of beat each other up and slowly eliminated one another. Whereas the men's Rumble felt like it had more of a pace to it, where you had a couple guys come out at once, and then a couple of them got eliminated, and then we had this big, like, it's a huge superstar show up, and then they sort of threw out a couple people, and then had an interaction with somebody else, and then you got a couple more guys in the ring, and then eliminated them until we got down to like the final four. Where there was some sort of pace to it, where I feel like the women's Rumble was just sort of all jumbled up, and it was just like, all right, we're going to throw you all in the ring, and then just eliminate yourselves whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, like it feels like it wasn't well produced at all.
I felt that there were not any, like with the men's Rumble, you had spots.
You did, yeah.
And so the women's, I felt that. I mean, you had the Bayley Bianca spot that you could have highlighted when she got thrown out, and they missed it completely. But I just didn't feel that there were any spots in the women's Rumble like the men's Rumble, in the sense that you had like the Billie Kay thing where she was like trying to get someone to team with her and things like that. But outside of that.
But that's not really a wrestling spot either.
No, it isn't. But it feeds into her gimmick of trying to get someone to work with her. So at least it was
fine. Comedy in the Rumble is fine.
Something that was there. But I felt in the ring there really weren't any spots there.
No, it was weird. And then like there was some really forced spots as well that just felt unnatural. Like the bit where Naomi and Bianca were on the apron. And I think Naomi had been ejected, but obviously landed on her back or whatever for a Kofi spot. Gets back up on the apron, and then there was some weird like transitions to try and make that into a.
Yeah, like it wasn't all smooth, and they weren't necessarily together and doing the same thing. And then they just sort of plopped themselves back up on the apron, and we're all like, "That's it, okay then."
But the final three was really good, and it was a good final three. I'm not going to say it was a good final four because Natalia was there, but it was a good final three. The Lana stuff, yeah, she got a win over Nia. That makes sense in story, I guess.
And I would say that's probably one of the few spots they did have with,
the stuff you remember.
Focusing on a storyline.
Yeah.
You know?
But when you think about all the talent they had in that ring, Jesus Christ, they let so much of it slip away, don't they?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good night, James. Have a good one.
Eve says the general consensus we had was the Women's Rumble was very good until the 24/7 spot, and then it kind of felt disjointed. It got better near the end, but Rhea and Bianca looked like idiots with Charlotte. And yeah, every year the Women's Royal Rumble has had male involvement. WTAF.
Oh, has it? Right. Yeah, that's stupid.
Damn, Charlotte and Asuka lost their tag team championships to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Yes, Lil Rascal. That doesn't surprise me, though. James, good luck with your surgery, and we'll see you tomorrow. And then I suppose we'll have to wait and see if we see you Wednesday.
Good night, brother. Good night, James.
There were some unique bumps and eliminations for the first half. A few vicious bumps on the eliminations, too. Like Heidi Lovelace took a gnarly powerbomb. Ruby. Good night, brother. Hope your surgery goes well. Yes, James. Hope it goes well.
Yeah.
So, I guess, the biggest thing out of the Women's Rumble is just they again, it's how they book the women, though.
I think
it's
so.
It's what they do with the women.
Yeah, they don't have enough stories going into, or enough clear stories going into it that it's actually quite difficult to create them stories.
I don't know that they had any idea whatsoever what they wanted to do going into the Rumble, like with any of it.
No.
I don't know that they necessarily had a whole bunch of people, like not only just stories, but like just like single one-off spots that they could do. Like I don't think that they had any of those planned out like they have in previous years. Like it was just sort of we're doing the Women's Rumble just because this is what we do with this pay-per-view now, and that's pretty much it. There was like no thought going into it whatsoever.
Unfortunately, I feel that this is my least favorite Women's Rumble of all time, I think.
Yeah.
It's only been going a few years, but like the first one had that was like the return of legends, and it was exciting. I thought the second one was good, and then this one was just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So then we have after the match, Bianca wins. They have a
promo
interview with her, and she cries.
This was not good.
I just didn't believe it.
That's the issue, is that it looked like fake.
Do you know why? Because they did exactly the same thing on Friday.
Yeah.
That's why. If they hadn't done that, then I think that this could have come across more convincing. But seeing it twice, it just feels like, I'm sure she is happy. Wonderful.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe it. Maybe that's my own misgivings for lack of a crowd and stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't believe it though. Did you all believe it in chat?
I don't know that
it was fine, and like she thanked her mom and her dad and Montez and stuff, and like that's cool, but like I don't know, the whole like tear-filled aspect of it all just felt very like
forced.
Yeah.
But the thing is knowing that you're going to be main eventing the biggest wrestling show out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if you watch like Ronda Rousey, like watch her documentary on the network where she talks about being at the Rumble or at Mania and how big it was, right? And that's someone that's coming from where she had a lot of fans, a lot of eyes on her all the time, but like showing up at Mania was like a totally different like stage. And so the fact that Bianca, knowing that she's going to be on the biggest stage, whether there's fans there or not, it's the fact that you're going to be on the biggest stage now of possibly the biggest event out there.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I could see where she was, had the emotions.
Well,
I can see why she would be.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it felt very forced. And that's the issue with it.
Here's how you solve that. You make it feel like Bianca's gone through a war to get through this Rumble. And because of the match, I didn't feel like I felt like Bianca could have gone another 40 minutes. I mean, she's an incredible athlete. But I didn't feel like, and he was just pointing something out about the looking silly when Charlotte was thrown out and they were laughing at her. And he's right. And because of stuff like that, you don't believe in it. What this should be is a fight to the finish, a fight of survival throughout this really long match. She was put in at number 3. She was the Iron Man of the match. It should have felt like an exhausting battle to get to the end. Didn't feel like that at all to me.
Yeah.
And maybe if that had been the case, this moment would have been more earned. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
I can agree to a certain extent. I mean, the one thing is when you know that you're going to, and I get the whole forced like way of acting and things like that. I can understand that. I just think that it's one of those things that when you are put in that position and you know that you're going on the biggest stage ever, and since I don't know her personally, I don't know how she acts or with things like that. So I mean, it's one of those things that you watch it and you go, okay, is it forced or is it not forced? I mean, is this something that she's truly knowing that she has the opportunity to go do this?
But she was crying last night about meeting Carmilla.
Well, that's the other
Bailey,
thing about it.
Do you know what I mean?
She did the same thing on SmackDown, and that's why
it takes away from it.
And it makes it seem like it's more forced because
why was beating Bailey the big moment?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bianca
maybe
isn't a great actress. Additionally, she's still so new that the audience hasn't gone on a journey with her to really get behind her enough and be emotional with her when crying. Yeah,
that's the other thing about it that I think is something that, for me, I'm not as excited for her winning the Rumble. Like, yeah, it's fine, it's great. Like, I have no problem with it, but she hasn't been built up to get these people behind her to like want her to win the Rumble. They've given us no reason because they haven't done anything with her. And so honestly, I think going into the Rumble that like hurt her with giving her the win is because they haven't like built her up any to make us believe that she should win.
No, I agree completely. I'm sorry. I'm sure it is a great moment for her, but I didn't believe it. So, and that's an issue from an audience point of view,
Yeah. Then we have Ms. Morrison with Bad Bunny, like a stupid little promo skit thing.
The only reason we're talking about this is because this ties into the Rumble later. Anyways, moving on.
Then we have Peter Rosenberg defeats R-Truth for the 24/7 championship.
Again, I say, who freaking cares? Like, not me. Moving on.
But the problem is this stupid belt that you win every time by getting a roll-up on someone. It just makes wrestling look stupid.
Yes,
if you can win with a roll-up on everyone, then why don't they do it all the time? And I know they do it all the time because of bloody crap at booking, but it's beside the point. It's lazy. It's lazy and it's stupid and it's just boring. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
So we then have, oh boy, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens in a Universal Championship last man standing match. Okay. This was so slow. It's not even funny.
Sorry.
There was it was just not, man, I don't know. The whole TLC thing was much better. I think this was just a mix of not really caring because we've seen this 12 times already. The fact that it was so slow, the way the match ended with the whole handcuffs not wanting to come unlocked, and Paul Heyman sat there for like 10 minutes trying to unlock them while Kevin Owens stood there like he was dying after, like, huh? Okay, none of this legitimately makes sense.
Nope.
None of it whatsoever. So there was this golf cart spot, which I thought was okay. And what I found the funniest about this was Sammy Guevara, just a little bit ago, it was a while ago now because it's, like late or whatever, but he put out the video of
Sorry,
his,
early.
whatever. His golf cart spot on AEW, and it was just the video, and there was no caption necessary. He just put up the video, and I found that to be very funny because when, not to be all AEW, WWE, but when you compare the two spots, it's really funny watching it the way WWE did it, and then the way AEW did it, like, first. I don't know, it made me laugh. He had that spot.
Yeah.
They
did a camera cut during that. I don't understand why they did a camera cut.
I don't either, because then they showed it on the replay, and it looks so much, like, worse.
Yeah.
On the replay, and they showed it at, like, 3 different angles.
Weird.
And it just looks so much worse.
Weird.
So you had this, like, pop-up powerbomb spot on a table that didn't end up breaking, and then Owens grabbed the forklift, lifted the thing up, the forklift thing, whatever, you know what it is. And he climbed up the thing, hopped off the forklift onto Roman. Okay, it really wasn't a hop. It was more of like he threw himself off the forklift and landed on Roman. They both went through the table or
Swanton,
whatever that was.
It is a swanton, I think.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Cool, whatever. He threw himself off the table and happened to land on Roman. That's what happened. Kevin got speared through the LED board, and then to finish the match off, dumbest freaking finish I've ever seen in my life. Owens handcuffed Roman to this piece of scaffolding in a position where Roman could not stand up. And the point of, a last man standing match is to,
get up.
Yes.
You don't get eliminated.
Yeah. So, we're standing there, and the first official starts counting, nearly gets to 10, but Roman throws this dude into, like, this hanging piece of metal that was right there. And this ref took, boom, he, like...
Trusting.
Yeah. And so that was great. And then we had another ref who came in and started counting, but Heyman came in, brought the keys to unlock the cuffs, proceeded to sit there for like 5 minutes trying to undo these handcuffs on both sides. He's like fiddling with the thing on the one side, doesn't work, switches to the other side, and tries to unlock it.
It wasn't 5 minutes, Maven. It was less than 10 seconds because the ref never counted.
He got to 6.
So Kevin is on the other side. He's been beat up. He's standing there. And the ref is counting. He gets to the count of 6 and then stops and just stands there. And we're like 30, 40, 50, 60. Like, Roman has been counted out like 10 times over at this point. And he's still not unhooked from this thing. Heyman finally gets it unlocked. And then Roman puts the guillotine chokehold on Owens, but Owens walks right into it. Never mind the fact that at this point he should be completely fine.
He stumbled into it. Like, he was standing there. He was like, oh geez, just hurry up, like, get the handcuffs off, okay?
He's supposed to be went for a coffee. He went back to catering and got some sandwich while Paul was getting the bloody handcuffs off.
He's supposed to be choking me out right now. Hurry up.
And then finally, Kevin didn't answer the 10 count, and so Roman won. God, this was awful. This was just bad. Like...
Terrible.
Yeah.
Look, the match, it was just a spot-to-spot match, and I just... Because there was no interest in transitions to get him to any spots, that's why these matches are really difficult to get right, because whilst you can have these moments, unless you have the fights between the moments, it literally just feels like that. In fact, this reminds me very much, this match, of last year's Royal Rumble match against Baron Corbin with Roman Reigns. That felt like a spot-to-spot match, and this felt exactly the same. And it's a shame, because we know that both of them can have a great match. We saw that at TLC. So let's have them have a good match. But
Yeah.
no. You can do.
Aye,
You can.
aye.
One of them spots would have done, and
Yeah.
or two or whatever.
Not all 12 of them.
Yeah, it
No,
was just bad.
no.
It was bad.
We were asking for spots, but we didn't mean in this match. We meant in the Rumble.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I never want to see another Roman Reigns Kevin Owens match ever again. Like, at this point, I'm just done. I'm over it. I don't want to see it. Move on from this. Do something else with Roman.
Please.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
And
Definitely.
thanks.
Hey, hold on a sec. Was Jey Uso in the Rumble? I thought he was supposed to be in the Rumble.
He
was.
But he was taken out
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So.
Who knows? Raymond says, yeah, Owens jumped into the golf cart. They should have never done the replay. No, when they did the replay, at first I was like, man, that was pretty cool. And then when they did the replay, I was like, man, that was really stupid.
Ah, man.
And so, I thought it looked cool when they did it the first time with the camera angle. And then the second time when they showed the replay, I was like, that's just dumb.
Yeah.
Takeover Dublin.
What?
When was Takeover Dublin announced?
I don't know. I think it's in June or July.
Really? Oh, cool.
Or
Carry on.
June or
Sorry.
July. I don't remember. I think I saw that earlier today.
So then we have the 30-man Royal Rumble, where we had Edge and Randy Orton at 1 and 2.
But yesterday, Randy was number 1 and Edge was number 2, but
Yes.
they flipped it.
So they messed up their numbering there. Not that it matters,
WWE
but
can't even
just
stick
the
to
fact
like
that-
which number they want people to enter
Yeah.
the Rumble.
The-
Something simple like that.
I think
They
the
can't
decision's
even-
been changed on who win this match, and I think that changing that is an example of WWE going that Edge can now say in all of his promos the number one person to the first person to enter the Rumble walked out, as opposed to the second person to enter the Rumble walked out.
Yeah.
But that's lazy. That's just like, come on, it was only announced last night.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Jay was on the card to be in the Rumble. Don't know why he wasn't. Speaking of birthdays, Takeover Dublin is on my birthday, so that would be a nice birthday to gift for me. Yes, Johnny Lee. Eve says Owens went into it at such a velocity that it busted Roman's lip. Yeah, I mean, I could see that he was cut.
Yeah, it was that plexiglass though that come off, wasn't it? That was intended to come off. It was definitely there for effect. But yeah, because the golf cart wouldn't normally have a big plexiglass screen there.
June 20th is Takeover Dublin.
Oh, thank you guys.
There you
I
go.
didn't know about that. Thank you.
So then we have Sami Zayn next, Mustafa Ali, Jeff Hardy, Dolph Ziggler, Shinsuke Nakamura, Carlito, Xavier Woods, Big E, Damian Priest, The Miz, Matt Riddle, Daniel Bryan,
You
Kane.
just skipped over like 5 people.
Who?
John Morrison, Ricochet, and Elias.
How'd I miss them?
You went from Big E to Damian Priest.
I think my thing moved on me here.
No, I think you just skipped all 3 of those people.
Well, I didn't care about them.
Okay, well, neither did anybody else.
That's
but
right.
Ricochet was really good in this match. Give him his due.
He'll never be seen again. So
Yeah, no, true.
unless he's fighting Retribution. So
Yeah.
In which he'll be jobbing out to them, so...
So Damian Priest, The Miz, Matt Riddle, Daniel Bryan, Kane, King Corbin, Otis, Dominic Mysterio, Bobby Lashley, the Hurricane, Christian, AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, Sheamus, Cesaro, Seth Rollins, and then the last man entering was Braun Strowman.
Personally, I think they had to change up a few things for this match.
What, with Ricochet turning up in it after he lost his match against
Yes.
AJ Styles?
Yes. I think that they had to change up some things for this.
Doesn't that kind of screw things up, though? I mean, doesn't you would think that this is why you don't do stupid matches like that. Well, if you get beat, you don't get to be in the Rumble.
Because in the case of needing somebody else, because they can't be there because they have to quarantine.
Well, I mean, even non-COVID years. What if someone were to get hurt, or
Yeah,
a couple people got hurt, or
Then
something happened?
You've got a roster of like hundreds of people to use. You should
Well,
be
then
fine.
use them.
But they don't
Like, they
know.
could-
That's the
They
problem.
couldn't find someone other than Ricochet to bring it up and say, okay, hey, we need you for the Rumble. Could
Yeah,
you come and do
the
this?
Fiend was in the back. His ashes could have come out instead.
I mean-
they chose not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You
but
know?
it's true. But Tucker was he? Did he have a match? I doubt it, unless it was on main event. He could have been in the Rumble, whatever. So they could have. I don't know if you're gonna tell stories like that, like stick to the stories. But then I was happy to see Ricochet, so I don't care really.
Well, if nothing else, you could have stuck Booker T out there. They just said, hey, you're going to walk out there and you're going to get thrown over the ropes.
Yeah.
Or put Bad Bunny in there if he's just, you brought him out anyway. You could have just had him thrown over the ropes.
Yeah, absolutely. He could have been an entrant and done the whole spot, the exact same spot that he did. Yeah, agreed.
I mean, so, just the stories from WWE just, doesn't make sense.
No continuity.
So, to start off this match, like we said, we had Edge and Orton, and after that, you had, Jeff Hardy and Sammy who came out and stuff, and while that was happening in the ring, you had Edge and Orton on the outside, and they played out this spot where Orton had, injured himself. He, messed up his knee or something, and I think it was after a chair shot from Edge, but I don't even remember. And so he essentially left after that. Didn't show back up until the very end.
I love that, by the way. I love the fact that, because we all knew it was coming. When he got the RKO, I was like, oh, he's gonna steal the win here. I love the fact he didn't. I thought that was a clever twist on it.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Another notable spot was Damian Priest showing up. What do you think Damian Priest is gonna do on Raw, SmackDown? Do you have anything in specific that you could see him doing? Personally, I don't. I have no idea what they're gonna do with him.
If I was Vince, I'd put him in a tag team with Aleister Black, and I'd have a tag team out of two guys that you're not going to use in any other way. Either that or a tag team with maybe Baron Corbin, because I feel like Baron Corbin's just so got to go away heat. But actually, the tag division sucks at the minute, so either of them I think could be a good place.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any ideas on what to do with Damian Priest?
I suppose I don't know. I mean, you could bring him in, and it depends on where you want to bring him in. I mean, I think bringing him in, and you could have him feud with Corbin to start with.
Is he going to be face? Or I feel like he makes a better heel in terms of look and stuff like that.
I think he probably makes a better heel, but I feel like they might try to bring him in as sort of a face.
Well, he wrestled as a face here, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to be a face, at least for now. So another big spot was, or I guess big surprise was Christian, actually. I think that was probably the biggest, return, biggest moment on the show.
It's so obvious as well. I'm surprised none of us saw it coming, but thinking about it, it's just so obvious. Just makes complete sense with Edge returning last year, Christian returning at this one, and we get a nice moment between them two. I thought it was really, really nicely done, Yeah,
I'm curious to see if this is just a one-off thing or if he will sort of stick around for a little bit and work with Edge, maybe do some tag team stuff, sort of, because we have 2 pay-per-views here in between.
Good night, Lewis.
Mania. So
2:04 a.m. You are a lightweight.
Thank you for sticking around. We appreciate it that you stuck around and
7 a.m. here. 7 a.m.
through all of our technical difficulties.
Thank you, man.
We appreciate
Thank
it
you so much.
So I don't know. I'm curious to see if Christian does some tag team stuff with the fact that we have a couple months here between Mania and Edge really isn't going to have much to do. I think personally, I think Edge is going to go the route of Drew. That's what I think is going to end up happening, because I think they're still going to do the Goldberg thing with Roman, and so I think it just makes sense for Edge to stay on Raw.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to find out for a long time. I don't think Edge is going to... It's not going to be tomorrow on Raw where Edge comes down and goes, I'm going after you. I think it's going to be left to for a while, where he decides whether he's going for Roman or... Because they don't know what they're going to do. That's all.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that it'll be this long process of, you have both Drew... And they could play it out with you have both Drew and Roman sort of okay, who's he going to pick? always sort of, and I don't want to say like be prepared because that makes it sound sort of money in the bankish with, oh, when's he going to cash in?
Sounds more like the Lion King to me.
I think that it would be sort of a fun way to do it, of keep it a total surprise. I thought that's what they were going to do with Charlotte last year, or the year before that, was keep it a total surprise for the first couple of months before Mania, and then they just, sort of up and went, oh, well, it's Rhea,
Yeah.
And so I think sort of leaving it open not only tells us that maybe they have no clue what they're doing, but sort of gives people the freedom to,
speculate.
Yeah, exactly, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
It also gives them a chance if Goldberg and Roman, if they want to have it not just be a Drew McIntyre and Goldberg match, to put Edge in there. And I hate triple threats, but like put Edge in there and get a third person working in the match.
Yeah.
So it's not so Goldberg-ish.
Not a 2-minute match.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what they want. I don't know. Maybe that waters down Drew Goldberg. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah. The other thing that kind of made me a bit like, why did we do this? Was the eliminations that happened by Omos. AJ Styles' bodyguard ended up pulling out Big E and Rey Mysterio in this match. And to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because, like, why though? Like, what was the purpose of this?
The Big E one, no sense whatsoever, because they're not even going to feud. They're on different brands. That's just stupid, in my opinion. But hey ho.
I agree. I think it was a terrible move. I don't understand the point. Why wasn't he removed from the ring when he started?
That's what makes no sense to me. Is the first time he did it, he should have been gone. Because if it was anybody else, they would have been gone. But like I said, he's like a 7-foot giant, and so they're all like, no, that's not stupid. I do think, however, that they played out the whole brand to brand invitational thingy on Friday. I think they're going to do that tomorrow, and I think Big E's going to show up on Raw and either fight AJ or Omos, one of the two. That's what I think is going to happen with that, and that'll be it. And Big E will win, and then he'll go back to SmackDown, and we're going to forget that any of this happened.
So it means nothing then, is what we're ultimately saying, yeah. Probably
exactly. Seth Rollins was the other spot that was,
Surprise. Well, Kane as well. Kane coming back, which I enjoyed.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that great.
I like it because Kane's always been like a big part of a Rumble. He's always been a dominant force within a Rumble, especially through the sort of late 90s, early 2000s. So that nostalgia feeling is good. Also, you had Daniel Bryan in there, so you had the Team Hell No stuff, which was fun. And then you had Damian Priest eliminate him, which is a sort of big moment, I suppose, for Damian Priest, and sort of putting the new guy over that's got a sort of darker image. So I thought that worked really well for me personally.
Yeah, I think I didn't think that was too bad. I think bringing him back again, if nothing else, it puts over Damian Priest. It also allowed for one of those moments in the match with him and Daniel Bryan, rather than just having just a total, just everybody going after each other. Like in the women's.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good.
Can I just say, I'm really glad that Daniel Bryan did not win this match. Not that I have anything against Daniel Bryan, but I feel like a lot of people were talking it up like, oh, I think he could win. And I'm just, not that I would have any issue with it, but I just, I think Edge is the bigger deal.
I don't. I mean, I'd rather watch Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan, or I'd rather watch Daniel Bryan and Drew McIntyre, but ultimately, I think it's the right decision because of Elimination Chamber. If you're going to give Daniel Bryan that opportunity, give him an Elimination Chamber. I think it's going to be Goldberg. That's fine. If Goldberg's off sick before Mania, throw Daniel Bryan in. We all want to see it anyway. So I don't think it really matters,
Well, and quite honestly, if they wanted to, they have, like I keep saying, they have 2 pay-per-views in between Mania and now. They have Elimination Chamber and then they have Fastlane. And if they wanted to, they could have Daniel Bryan win Elimination Chamber or something, and then say that at Fastlane he's fighting Roman. They do that match as like a one-off thing for that pay-per-view, and then you have Goldberg come out after Bryan gets beat, and Roman's left standing tall, and he goes, "Hey, buddy, you're next," or whatever. Yeah. Now, while that wouldn't book Goldberg to look the strongest, I guess, it would be something, and you'd get the Daniel Bryan Roman Reigns match out of it.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm not that angry at it because I think Edge is just a safe bet for WWE. I don't think it leads to the most exciting stuff, but I think it's the safest bet. A bit like Money in the Bank last year. Who would have been the most safest person to put that Money on the Bank in? AJ Styles, right? If they give it to him, that's safe. They didn't. They give it to Owens, and it didn't work. Yeah. And now we've got this weird thing, So from a company's perspective, I can see why they did it. It doesn't excite me, but at the same time, I understand it, and so I'm okay with it. Does that make sense?
Well, the thing about the whole thing about the Otis thing, and it didn't work. If it's not going to work, then just throw him in a match and say, "Okay, here, you lost the Money in the Bank. It's over. We move on for the next one." Mm-hmm. Rather than doing it the way they've done it.
Agreed.
Where the Miz got it, and I just don't like the way they did it.
If Roman had buried Otis, it would have given Roman even more heel heat.
Yeah.
So, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. It could definitely have been done a lot better. But, again, this is what I'm sort of saying. I don't feel like Edge is an inspiring winner, but I feel like it's the logical one at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I wasn't... Again, this match didn't really... Because of the ending. Because Edge won, I was like, okay. So, big deal. What does it mean? It means nothing.
It's not. I can get why you'd be upset about it. I mean, it's not a new guy that they're giving a sort of rub to, and all that sort of stuff.
Well, what I will say is, I was very much so kind of shocked that they didn't have a spot with Alexa coming out and sort of being the reason that Randy was eliminated.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Especially with the first Rumble, because basically they brought her out as a childlike gimmick, so it makes complete sense for the next one to you fake that the Fiend's coming out and it ends up being Alexa and it ends up freaking Randy or something like that. But actually, you couldn't have done that with Randy because he wasn't in the match, so
Yeah, well, but they could have done it right at the end where she just steps out on the stage, the lights go out, they come back on, and she's standing up there, or maybe down by the ring. And then Edge throws out Randy that way without even having her get involved or any type of involvement other than just showing up.
Would that have then been Edge's moment, though? Or would that have been the Fiend's moment? Would that have stolen the spotlight from Edge?
I don't know that it would have stolen the spotlight from him just because it would have been, okay, we're continuing a storyline here.
Well, okay. I think regardless of what they did in the Rumble, I think they were going to continue the whole Randy, Alexa, Fiend thing. That's what I think.
Sorry, I just lost your microphone. Say that again, Maven. And I've lost your microphone again. Sorry, guys. I've just lost the Wrestle Story's microphone. Have I lost them now? Give us a wave. Have I lost internet again? I bet I have. Sorry, guys. This has happened once tonight already. Hello, are you back? Hello, I can see you moving now, but I can't hear you. I don't know what's happened. Yes, you're frozen on the stream. I'll go through some comments while they're just trying to sort that out. Let's go back up. Oh, God, you guys have been writing loads. That's awesome. So from the NXT UK stuff, I really like Ricochet, but why was he in the Rumble? He lost a freaking match to AJ to not be in the Rumble. Exactly. It makes no sense, really. Alex Smith says, very impressive debut for Damian Priest. A big fan of his. I can absolutely agree. I thought it was an impressive debut. I've started to like him more as time has gone on, basically. Did Randy have burns on his face, or did he magically recover? Oh, he magically recovered. He magically recovered. He got some of that Fiend. Well, the Fiend's going to come back soon, and he's not going to be Ashes. Raw probably feuding with Miz and Morrison. SmackDown probably fight Corbin Cesaro, which would be dope, and a Seth, which would also be dope. That's good booking there, Alex, my dude. Have to call it a night. Thank you. Maybe he becomes Corbin's Knights. Maybe. Is that maybe a little less for him now? Maybe that's pushing Corbin too much. I feel like if they're going to give him a chance to get over, he needs to at least be on the same level as Corbin. Hello, I can hear you.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, yes, but and the videos come back.
Cool.
I'm not even sure what's going on here.
I don't either. Our stuff just like cut out and like needed to reload or something. I don't know what that was. That was just weird. Anyways, like I was saying before I got cut off. Yeah. What was I saying before I got cut off?
I don't remember.
Something about.
I stopped listening to you 3 hours ago.
Thanks. Randy? Something about Randy? I think it was something about Randy. I don't even know. I said something about thinking that Randy was gonna fight the Fiend going into Mania.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you're gonna get Undertaker and the Fiend at Mania.
Really?
Yeah.
What makes you believe that?
Because Vince wants 4 matches for each day that are sort of big headline matches. That's a big headline match. And you can do it cinematic.
Yeah.
So that to me makes all the sense in the world. And you froze up for a second there. You're back.
Cool.
Could be our internet that's screwing up here.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, but I don't really know for sure. So
cool. That's all good.
Edge won the Rumble.
Because if you had to have like 5, if you had to have 4 Mania matches a day, like. How do you get that? I mean, you've got your 2 championship matches. You've got your 2 female championship matches. But there's still... That's 4 matches still to... I mean...
Well, yeah. I mean, and especially if we're looking for, like, big-name matches, it's not going to happen without guys like John Cena or Goldberg or Undertaker. Yeah. And they're going to need them to create some bigger matches.
Yeah.
So maybe you go Fiend Taker, you go John Cena and...
I don't even know. R-Truth. I'd pay good money to see that.
I think people would pay for that.
I don't know. I think John Cena is... I think John Cena is a safe bet for Mania. It's just, I don't know what he's going to do.
John Cena...
Eve says, I was told 2 major matches for each day, 4 total.
Oh, is it? I thought it was 4 each day.
So if that's the case, you have your 2 big championship matches, 1 on each show. You have Goldberg and Roman, and then you have Edge and whoever's champion. Or maybe you just have the 1, and it's the triple threat.
Because I could see him doing Bobby Lashley and Brock as well. Really.
That would be another big one that I think would draw some people in. Yeah. And then you have your 2 matches with... you could do Fiend and Taker, and then John Cena and somebody.
Cena AJ, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, what was you saying before we got sidetracked?
I think that's
pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. I mean, we ran through the entire Rumble. I don't think we really missed anything. You have anything else to say about the Rumble?
Yeah, I thought it was. This was a much better Rumble. I mean, I really liked last year's for the sort of specialness of it. But I thought this was a really well worked Rumble in terms of they came in and wrestled. We saw wrestling in this. It didn't feel like an '89 Rumble, and that's what the Women's Rumble felt like to me, which is a shame because they're so talented. And so yeah, I enjoyed this. I thought there was a lot of good little spots in it, and kept me entertained throughout. I really liked Christian's return. I thought that was a really obvious surprise that everyone should have seen come in, and no one did. So yeah, and winner Edge, yeah, whatever, fine. Like the little end spot. Who else was in the end? Oh yeah, it was Daniel Bryan, I think. Was it not?
Seth and Braun.
Braun, yeah.
Oh, Seth. That's the other thing I was going to ask is, like, what do we see Seth doing? Is he still going to be on SmackDown like he was when he left? And, like, what's he going to do?
I was real surprised they kept the Messiah gimmick because I'd assume he'd come back as a face to build up for a Roman program, maybe at SummerSlam. But we'll just have to... Maybe he's a face as a Messiah, I don't know.
Well, maybe they'll play out And maybe that's why they didn't do it on television, or on television. Maybe that's why they didn't just do it like, he just happened to flip the switch and he's burn it down again. Maybe they're gonna build it into some storyline of like he can't be the Messiah anymore. He's tired of being the Messiah, or he just doesn't feel like being the Messiah is right, or something like that, and then ultimately switch into, like slowly morph back into the burn it down Seth Rollins. And I feel like he's been gone enough time that people sort of miss him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that kind of helps him go back to the more face Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they could have done a bit more time, but whatever. Yeah, I sort of see it. I think he should have been maybe coming back to the Raw after Mania. Actually, I think that would be the best first.
Yeah.
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 I think that turning him face again, I think would help him, because I think down the line, we're gonna get Roman.
It's him, Roman, that makes sense right now.
And maybe like for SummerSlam.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That might be the big match for that show. And so I would say we're gonna get a face turn between now and then.
Probably.
Yeah, but he might be face. I mean, he didn't necessarily come across that heelish tonight, did he?
I don't know. I feel like we almost didn't see enough of him to sort of get the idea of what his motives are being back.
Well, he curb stomped Braun out, didn't he, on the apron?
He also curb stomped Matt Riddle out.
Ah, right. Maybe he's a heel still then. Okay, cool. Fair enough.
So,
we'll see.
John Elite says, I heard Cena is 100% locked for Mania.
100%
Eve says,
lock.
Even with all your tech issues, you still finished quicker than I got my editing done tonight.
Oh, mate, I hate editing. Even doing that Goldberg interview the other day that I did, that was a pain in the backside.
Editing takes forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, especially when you have to cut out things like,
Yeah. She's talking about my action figure video that I put out.
Did you?
I don't have that issue when I'm editing my videos, because I don't say anything in my videos.
Hold on, Maven. When you was reading that list earlier, I did point out that you were going, and then it's
I say
Tony Storm.
I also say the word like
I do it. I'm bad.
Like every other. See there.
It's
like.
the first,
I say like.
The thing is, it's the first
every
time.
Other word.
It's the first time that I have actually done a video in a while, and so when you do it for the first time, in a long time,
it's
you
hard.
Really don't realize what you're saying, and
well,
so it's just
even I doing videos,
and it's the first time I've done an action figure video and put it out there.
Many videos when I speak, or like many videos when I speak. That made no sense. I don't do many videos where I speak, like that need to be edited, but ones that I have done, I have the tendency, no matter how long I've been filming, I say stupid things like and other stuff like that. Just unnecessary words that don't need to be there.
Yeah, well, that's all cool. Saying like a lot is quite good, because people should always like the video. So get liking.
It's
that.
the hidden message.
Like,
it's the hidden
absolutely.
message that I'm trying to get across. When we're streaming.
Yeah. Yes, I think I'm going to start as a tick saying, buy our merch. So buy our merch. Braun Strowman was coming down to the ring. I think that works. Jake's still up. You're mad, man. Eve's still up. Right? You just crazy. We're gonna shoot. But so everyone say bye. John Elite. Yeah, I know. That's why I was expecting him at the Rumble. I had Cena is 100% locked in for Mania. Yeah, man. That's what he said as well. Maybe they turn Seth slowly into a face. Yeah, but if they'd left him till Mania, he could have just come back as a face for sure.
Yeah,
because everybody would have missed him enough that they were like, oh, Seth, we are so happy to see you. I think they have a fair amount of that now, but I feel like it could have been more.
Yeah. Does that mean that we're getting Buddy Murphy back on our TVs?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Before you sign us off, I've got a load of intros that you can steal. So, do you want Mick Foley? Do you want Matt Hardy? Do you want Darby Allin? Do you want Raven? Do you want Shotzi Blackheart? Do you want Sammy Guevara? Or do you want John Silver? That's one for Maven and one for Mr. G.
I'll take John Silver.
John Silver. I've not edited that one. Okay, you can have your own as well, Mr. G.
Well, let's do John Silver.
You can have two.
That's okay. John Silver's good.
You're only getting one. Cool. Rock and roll. Thanks, dudes.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, everybody out there, thank you for sticking around with us because we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All the technical issues we've had, we appreciate it. With that, peace out, everybody.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Back tomorrow and subscribe to the channel. And subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, do
Yes.
that too.
Bye.
Hello, Anthony. This is John Silver of The Dark Order. I appreciate all your hard work and just wanted to say welcome to Gimme a Whole Yeah. I hope everyone checking this out in Yorkshire and the UK is doing well. And The Dark Order will be seeing you soon.